Does taking the spice cinnamon on a daily basis actually lower your blood sugars as a type 2 diabetic or pre-diabetic? Well, today I'm going to be going over the top 5 reasons why cinnamon can be beneficial and likely something you should be adding to your regimen on a daily basis. So let's get into it. First thing is what cinnamon can do is actually increase or improve insulin sensitivity. As a reminder, insulin is essential for blood sugar regulation. You see, insulin and blood sugars kind of work together. When you have your cells, there's essentially a receptor, or I like to refer to it as a key, and your insulin is the key that unlocks that door. So insulin has to attach to the receptor. That insulin then unlocks the doors into your cells to allow the sugar to enter from the bloodstream. This process is normal physiology. If this is not happening inside your body, this is likely why you have type 2 diabetes, the underlying cause. But cinnamon has been shown to improve that reception at that sensitivity of the receptor. So your doors are easier to open with that key, which is your insulin. So it makes things a lot more efficient. So that is a huge benefit for individuals who are insulin resistant, i.e. have what I refer to as a cellular disease that is progressing your diabetes. So cinnamon is definitely beneficial. That is the first component there. The second thing is that cinnamon has been shown to lower blood sugars. Well, that's an overall really important reason, but why is it lowering blood sugars? It's impacting the ability to keeping the sugars in the bloodstream and pushing those sugars to where they need to be inside your cells. So not only does it help with sensitivity at the cell to allow the sugars in, but actually helps push those sugars into your cells more effectively. Remember, sugar is our fuel source. Without sugar, we wouldn't survive. Our brain needs it, our organs need it. These are essential for our life function. Just like your car needs gas because it can't go anywhere without gas. So imagine if you put gas into the gas tank of your car, but it never reached your engine. Your car would essentially die and you wouldn't go anywhere. Well, that's the same thing that happens to human beings. When you can't get enough sugar into the cells, which is where our engines are, we die. And this is the reason why type 2 diabetics have an early risk of death. The third area that we see benefits for cinnamon is it's in the gut, essentially. So in your gut, you have the ability to absorb sugar and break things down into your body. And that absorption gets into your bloodstream. So what happens here is a couple different things. And this is like point number 3 and number 4, if you will. So the first one is it actually decreases the breakdown of carbohydrates in the body. So carbohydrates are what we know are things like breads, pastas, things like that. So are most common carbohydrates that are associated with high sugars. Those typically break down very rapidly in the gut and they get released very rapidly. And that spike will cause a huge blood sugar spike as well as an insulin spike as well. And those spikes will negatively impact your body on your cellular level, oversaturate things, and then things break down and then your sugars start to get out of control and you get diagnosed with diabetes. So cinnamon has been shown to slow down the breakdown of carbohydrates inside your gut so then you don't have a huge release of that sugar into your system and bombarding everything and causing huge spikes with insulin and starting to put more pressure on your cells and your organs and your tissues. So it's a huge component there and it's really beneficial to lower the amount of sugar. So you can see these combinations of the insulin sensitivity improving, lowering sugars, the reduction of the carbohydrate breakdown is all kind of like things that are happening together, which is why cinnamon is a very good spice, if you will, to be adding to your foods or taking it in a supplement form to bring these things down and help your blood sugars. We also know, as I just mentioned, I kind of gave it away there, is that it slows down the release of sugar into your bloodstream. Again, this is a very important thing because if you're pushing tons and tons of sugar into your bloodstream and overwhelming your body, it's very challenging to get the sugars into your cells, into your engines, if you will. And that's why things get out of control. So again, imagine if you just bombarded your engine with too much gas. Well, it would flood the engine, it would break down, and there'd be a lot of problems. Well, the same thing can happen inside your body as a human being. So we want to slow down that process to help your body achieve the goals, which is getting the sugars into the cells. The top 4 ones at this point we've talked about is improves insulin sensitivity. The second one we talked about is it actually will help reduce the amount of sugar into your bloodstream by slowing down the amount of carbohydrates into the system as well. And then also it helps to reduce the amount of sugar being pushed into your cells as well. So you're not having to force feed the cells. It's a slow progressive process that's beneficial for your body. So here's the deal. If you want to have some more information about how we help individuals, make sure you download my guide to the benefits of what you can do to lower your blood sugars and benefit yourself without the use of additional medications. It's a very important guide. I I implore you to download that. I think that'll be beneficial. The fifth item that we know is beneficial by using cinnamon is it lowers inflammation. We know inflammation essentially is like fire, right? And fire is very damaging to anything. It breaks it down, burns it, destroys it. Well, fire can destroy your organs, your tissues and systems, advancing complications of diabetes. So we know cinnamon has been to be a very important anti-inflammatory, so it can reduce that inflammation in your body as well. So when you combine all these things, right, improving insulin sensitivity, lowering blood sugars inside your bloodstream, your serum, lowering the amount of sugar being released by your gut, slowing down the production of, or breakdown, I should say, of carbohydrates in your gut, and decreasing inflammation, all of these things are phenomenal and positives of why cinnamon should be part of your daily regimen. And again, you could use the spice, just put a little bit on your food. You can take supplements with cinnamon, but this is a very important product or spice you could be taking to help regulate your blood sugars, to support your blood sugars, and try to get some benefits so you don't live in a life of full high levels of sugar, which is very damaging, very inflammatory, and it can cause the progression of your diabetes to get worse. But here's the deal. If you want to learn more about what we do in our practice, because we know that reducing blood sugars is essential, but the problem is this. Diabetes is not a blood sugar problem, right? The cause of your diabetes is not high sugars. That's a symptom of your diabetes. And if you would like to learn more about how we help individuals actually reverse diabetes, reduce the risk of complications, start reducing medications, and get back their life, and so it's not basically a stranglehold of being around doctors and taking medications for the rest of your life and wondering what's the next complication that's going to occur, make sure you watch this video because I go into depth about how we help individuals, how we analyze individuals, and the processes that are needed to really reverse your diabetes, not just lower sugars, manage your sugars, but actually reverse your diabetes. All right, I look forward to seeing you there. Take care.